We've noticed in the past, just from our produce eating, that we will start to sometimes, especially in the, well, really only in the summer months. You don't see them in the winter. I think that's when they hatch, is in the summer. But we'll get some fruit flies flying around the kitchen, and I've learned a thing or two about how to control them and where they come from. Right, and so really the two things I found that fruit flies come from, one tend to be peaches and nectarines, and the second thing are bananas once they age and they get really ripe. So if you have bananas that sit out and they start to get black, or even to the point where they liquefy, if they're like really ripe, sometimes that will cause a huge fruit fly problem. I think one time we went on a trip or something and came back, and there was actually some bananas that had started to liquefy and rot, and you could see like the fruit flies were there, like they were on the bananas. So couple things I've learned to do to control the fruit flies. I mean, first of all, you could put all your fruit in the fridge. That helps, and that might clear up all your problems right there. If you have a certain fruit that you like to leave out on the counter, for example, bananas, make sure they don't get overripe. And once they start to get too ripe, then put them in the refrigerator and eat them quickly within the next couple days, because they'll start to really blacken in the fridge, but it'll keep the fruit flies from starting to swarm. If you have a fruit like a peach that you like to eat and leave out, and it does lead to fruit flies, or you have a fruit fly problem, I found one thing to help them is if you get some apple cider vinegar and you pour it into, just pour it into a cup. And it doesn't have to be, special organic apple cider vinegar, just regular apple cider vinegar, pour it in a cup, and, and just a little bit, half an inch or so, and then just drop like a drop or two, just very light amount of dish soap into that, and mix it up and leave it out on the counter. And you can make numerous ones if you want. And the fruit flies a lot of times will be attracted to that because they are attracted to rotting fruit, and that's apple cider vinegar has it's a fruit. So it attracts them, the smell attracts them, they go into it, and then they get trapped. And they can't get out at that point. And another method I found is red wine. Sometimes if you put a little bit of red wine out in a cup, and with the same thing, put a little bit of dish soap and mix it up, and they'll do the same thing. They're attracted to the red wine, which also is because it's made of fruit. Grapes, so they'll be attracted to that as well. There's also like some fruit fly traps you can get, which are just like sticky paper, and they're colored. You can hang those up, and they'll land on those, and you'll get a whole bunch of them. Another thing I've heard is you want to pour maybe like some kind of white vinegar or boiling water down a drain if you feel like there might be coming from a disposal or a drain, like if they've put eggs in there and they're hatching, or you've seen them come out of there. And one tip that I've been doing for a long time, and I just kind of came up with this myself, was basically I noticed that when we were I eat a lot of bananas like every day, and I noticed like when we were putting the banana peels in the garbage, by the end of the week, because we don't have a lot of garbage, we don't take it out very frequently, and then by the end of the week though, the fruit flies I feel like would start to come from the banana peels that were in the garbage can, and so they would escape from the garbage. And so what I started doing was actually getting a plastic bag, and putting my banana peels in the bag and putting that in the freezer. And that way the eggs won't sit in the garbage and hatch. And then when I have a new banana peel the next day I need to get rid of, I just throw it in that bag that's in the freezer, and that seemed to work as far as with the banana peels. And you could throw any other kinds of fruit in there, so it doesn't sit in the trash and rot and start to produce any kind of fruit flies. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful.